Here's a clip for Sunday in the shop. We're going to start doing this as we're working. We drilled this out to 5/16. It was just under a 1/4 inch. So we can take more time to do this. We don't feel so nervous. It was 15/64. I might have mentioned in the video that it was wrong, so we'll correct that here. So then we went to a 1/4 inch. Any bit that's backwards means it's dull or broke. We went out to 5/16. Yeah, do that with your bits, because there's two of them. You might be able to fix the resharpening. Anyway, this is like a 3/16 bit. We're going to get wet dry sandpaper. But we had it wet, of course, which is better. Because there's a lot of nasty rust and stuff been in that plastic. Because remember, it bit hot and pulled out, so it was kind of melted and gooey. You can still see some lines in there. We don't have nothing really to stick in the hole. No, we don't really have nothing. Here, let me pause and find something to stick in the hole. There, we're trying to see how see-through it is. When you get a steel sharpener, it's gonna look alright. You can buy this stuff in plastic on the internet. You know that, right? Look on Amazon, but it's not cheap. Imagine getting it. Say this was 1 inch diameter. You could bore this out, make a container, and make a lid for it. Well, I just like doing this. Taking these kind of close-up shots. Camera's been blurry lately. I could not get a shot like this. I even brought something in there with writing. I don't know what we're going to do with it. This is rounded over, just what it takes, different grit sandpaper and polish, so it is rounded over because it was rough in the video of it. So you get these extras. The extra. And make sure you wrap that the right way when your drill's turning, because your drill's turning this way. It won't turn, it just keeps loosening up. Your drill, see, don't have your paper going that way. Oh, here's a trick. Let me set this down and see if it works. If your sandpaper gets too loose, let me take it back here. If your sandpaper gets too loose or you're sanding by hand, you can go backwards with your paper like this. Watch. You go backwards and unwrap it. See that? Making it bigger. And then when you put it in there, see, you gotta kind of fidget it. See? It's bigger. Even when you go like this, it acts like a brake. So it's turned this way, right? When you go against it, it acts like a brake. You can actually see it trying to break loose. So you get that in. Yeah, I learned that. Well, I used to do stuff when I was a kid. I'd sand on stuff, and I never even had a drill. I'd make little sanding sticks, and you can finish this by hand with different grits. See, you go one way, it acts like a brake, but it might grab a little better to get a tough spot. See? Okay, that's enough of that. It's worth showing you this stuff if you never did it before. It is. I said, do not do this and blame it on me. You should not be using a drill as a lathe. Drill press, drill, no, you should not. No, but do that at your own risk. Here's a Sunday in the shop clip. That beautiful polish is my little emery wheels. I found when it was a little bit bigger and running out. And you do them on edge. Don't do your wheel flat ways. Do it on edge. Look at that polished steel. It won't stay that way. You're going to sharpen it with sand. I'll probably sharpen this with sandpaper too, but I do have my diamond file. But if you really want to make one, this and the other video is the one to watch and take pictures of. I like how that rounds at the bottom because it gives you a curved scraping. And I have some pictures in my other video that shows how I was scraping the plastic with it. See, the heel will even scrape. Poor table, goes through so much abuse. But that's how I keep it clean, scrape off the gunk. Someday I'll wear through that for mica, whatever plastic. Okay, back to something else. Another Sunday in the shop clip. I cannot drill through that. I've drilled down in there just a little ways. What I'm going to do, this shank hits the metal pin out of the golf ball. I mean, it hits right up against it. I measured it, and I've got it just right. And this, they always drill these off-centered one way. So I've got this all lined up, which does what? We're going to epoxy this in here, okay? But we're not going to put any epoxy in this area. So we're going to have the whole thing in there. We'll pull it out here and show you. And I'll show you the grooves I put on here. Just with a cutter disc and my little Dremel tool. There. So we're going to epoxy that in there. Then we're going to make some pins that'll drop down in there. They'll probably be smaller than the hole. So it's probably just going to be a wall art anyway. But there's my famous crosshatch. I like that look. It looks machined. I've got a really good tip on this screwdriver, if you can see it. The measure's probably, what? I don't know how many millimeters, but probably a 1/16 of an inch. Sometimes I measure stuff in millimeters, just for my reference, but that's what we're going to do. When we come back, this thing will be put together, and you'll see what pins I got down in there. They may stick up a little bit. I'll have to do a little grinding and repolishing, but has anybody looked at this or whatever video says Evansville of where they think the screwdriver was made? Look at the pattern, how they made that pattern. Hope you didn't hear my scan in the background. Of course, this ain't monetized anyway. Okay, let's get to work. Can you see down in there? We're going to measure up a little piece of pin and epoxy them in there. And then this ferrule on at the same time. Then we'll be done with this screwdriver. Hello YouTube, it's chilly out here. It's only about 60 in here. We've got the heater cranking. We just got out here, so we're ready to work. Sunday, we're not going to do nothing really hard at all. Sunday we rest. If we come out here, it's going to be hobby type, lazy, easy. We're making our pin out of these little bolts. Don't ask me the diameter. I can't tell you right now. But see how I tapered it? Because I was using this to measure with. So we had it down there in the bottom of the hole, did our measurement, and we set that with a nut. We'll cut that off with a cutter blade, and then we got down there and we dremeled this as round as we could be. So we epoxy that in there, we'll let it cure, and then we'll have it standing a little proud, you know what I mean? So when I grind it, I can grind it smooth. And if we touch this, it won't matter. We'll repolish it, but we'll bring it back when we got the piece cut off and ready to stick it in there, or after we got it shoved down in the hole. Should be easy. I think it'll hold good enough. This is just going to be a wall hanger anyway. We're just making it look good. But if you want to use it, I don't think I'll twist it loose. That's going to be shoved in there like 5/16 of an inch. Not quite an 1/8 of an inch into the screwdriver because I could not drill through that hard stuff. And I mentioned that in another video where I heat treated it to make it softer, but you can't even touch it with a carbide bit hardly. So stay tuned. Let's make this short. And we are done. I have to admit, this side looks a little better than this one. This one stuck up a little more, so I had a little more to grind. This one kind of fell down on the hole a little bit, so I couldn't get it as smooth as I wanted it, but it's just a pin. And they are almost 5/16 inch in length, so they do stick in there with plenty of epoxy. I just kept filling the hole till I couldn't take anymore. I had it oozing out, I had to scrape it off, so it was full. I'm always trying to read that on here, and all it says is Evansville. And how would you polish it? I could not make out what that is. It looks like a D. I've taken several pictures of it. Okay, that's it. We're done. Thanks for watching. I said this will probably just be a wall hanger. So, we're out of here. We're gone. See you next time. Another Sunday in the shop clip. We're going to start doing this with new projects. I'd polish this with the emery stone in my little Dremel tool, and it was all smeary, and I didn't feel like putting no flits on it. We'd done that one, so we just took some different scrub pads, different textures. See that? When these get dirty, I'm gonna come back, see if I can tear that apart and expose the center of it. And like your paint, this paint never dries forever. You can polish it with a napkin. So if you get some sticky fingerprints, you can polish it with a napkin. There, back off. Good enough for a screwdriver. You're all tired of seeing it. It does fit the hand comfortable. I don't know. You gotta. If I gave it away and want to give it to a woodworker, don't give it to a mechanic. They'll do what happened to it before. They'll bend it, use it for a crowbar, and pound on it, and do all kinds of nasty stuff to it. They're very abusive people. Don't trust them. You're kidding. Back to your regular scheduled program. Okay, I think I'm recording. Don't do this stuff, people, like I'm doing. Use this for a lathe. Had this on there. Use this for my lathe tool. I was thinking that when I made this for wood or plastic. Well, you can do all kinds of things. Just think you can cut off, point off, make little lines in here. Just at your own risk. I wear goggles and everything, and this is a little battery-powered drill, so it's not like a big giant machine, but we'll be back to show you what it looks like when we get done making this whole square. Don't ask how you make a square hole out of a round hole, but we'll figure it out. Okay, I hear a snowmobile. I enjoy hearing them. I can tell you about how in the 70s, Polaris had a racing snowmobile, and they'd be at the end of my street. I lived on the last street in town, and they'd go out to the highway, and they had it marked off where a quarter mile was. It was about an eighth of a mile was the railroad trestle, and I'd hear him, and I'd yell at my older brother. We'd run outside, we'd grab our coats, and they'd leave the bar and go racing on them. And that's about when John Deere came out with a snowmobile. It was supposed to have been fast, but all I remember was the big Polaris the guy had. It was the hottest, biggest Polaris you could buy. And he was a farmer, so he had the money. I made a mess getting that in there. I stuck it in there first and didn't want to hold. So I pulled it back out and grabbed some of this when it was still goo, just almost hardened. Put a big blob in there and shoved it in there. But I am very pleased how well this works as a lathing tool. It just... because I had to machine this plastic down to get this barrel on there. And I just made the hole big as you have trouble doing that, showing the end of stuff. I took a little bit of time doing that part. But it's just a tool. I mean, if the hole was only about this deep, might paint that and leave this clear. Like the white screwdriver I got, where the end was red and they had like a gas station logo on them when you got them. Those are nice screwdrivers. Use a set of carburetors. Your carburetors there. Yeah, I'm very pleased how well that works. But It's another clip for Sunday in the shop when I'm out here bored and it's not really much to make a video on. But I hope you enjoy watching it. I don't know what that ferrule's off of. It's off some cheap little tool I had because it was really cheap. I mean, that's the thinnest, cheapest metal you ever seen. And I just scrubbed it with that. Man, did I tell you I was going to see if I could rip that in half, open it up, and get a new side to scrub with? Just a little piece. I make them little things with the hole in, and you put it in your Dremel, you know, little scrubby ball, scrubby thing. So that was just one I had extra. I've shown how to make them plenty of times, and that's what you use this for. See, you poke a hole through it to put a screw in there, and then you stack them up, and you use, see if I can find it. No, I can't. I can't find it right now. But let me see if I can find it, and I'll show you one. Here's one that's wore down, so we're going to take these little pieces and stick on here and make another one. I need to go out because the other scrub pads are out of my toolbox somewhere that was given to me. I got two kinds. I've got this big, well, three kinds I got. That kind given to me, this was given to me, and here's the kind I bought like in Menards. It's not too bad, but it's really not that good. But I may stick a piece of it in there. And you don't have to make these round. It will wear down. It will be just like that after you use it. So let me make one. Okay, it's not perfect. It'll work. And you can really tighten that screw down. I clamp my vice grips right on here because that never goes in the Dremel machine or nothing. So it doesn't matter if you gouge that up. So I clamp right here in my needle nose vice grips. Let's buff on that and we'll come back and see what it looks like. Okay, it made it a little bit better. I went about 1/2 inch on this plastic real lightly. You'll burn in the plastic so quick polishing on it. No matter what wheel you're using, don't get carried. And the worst wheels, them real hard pack ones I've showed before. And I've got some that's cone shaped. There. Don't use these on plastic. Use these on metal. And they make them big and round. They're hard packed, really hard packed. They're not fluffy or like those ones that look like a piece of a rag. Yeah, beware of those. Beware. I got a Halloween thing that says that when you press the button. Beware. Anyway, we're about done for the day. We'll add something else to this, whatever. This will all be in some Sunday in the shop video here in the future. Today is the 22nd of January. Oh, my Sunday in the shop video. I had to go back in the morning and redo it. I had 22 instead of 22. What year is it? I don't know. It's all a blur. Anyway, we're about done out here for the day.